Dan Scott, Forrest Stulting, and now on the hot seat in the middle chair. Has become a regular here with us on Thursday, and because I don't know what we'll do when the soccer season is over, so we'll just have to keep you playing. Doug Allison joining us here.
Hey, Dan, how are you guys?
Good.
No, it's been good. So I enjoyed the Thursdays after practice.
So just still got those morning sessions going on, huh?
Yeah, we were pretty early this morning. The weather wasn't bad this morning. It was beautiful this morning. So as you look out in this view, but it was a little chilly last week, but it wasn't too bad this morning. The sun came out, and I'm like, guys, take your sweats off. This is nice. It doesn't get much better than this. This view and this, training on this morning and on a campus like this is gorgeous.
And that's just another example for folks who may think, well, when they talk about academics at Furman, they're blowing smoke. No, I mean, in order to practice on Thursdays, you guys have to get up while it's still dark and get going after it.
Yeah, it was. We had to put the lights on the practice field to start half the training session. The keepers are out there at 7:15, and the rest of the guys out there at 7:45, and then by the time I did carpool, I got across from schools and across Greenville. I mean, I'm up at 6:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that's the way it is. But Thursdays in particular, it's a good day to train, preparing for your next game on Saturday, and it allows the guys to go to labs on Thursday afternoon. Allows them, they go to labs.
Yeah.
but we
like they have a choice, right?
No, they don't have any choice. So, but it is the only day of the week I get my whole team there to train.
Well, which is again just another indication of what a student athlete here faces.
Yeah.
If that's the only day that you can get your entire team together.
Yep. For practice yesterday, Zach and a couple of guys were out. Monday we have 3 guys out, and so it's very hard to keep reiterating set pieces and things like that. Friday afternoon, by the time they get out, we don't do too much, but we'll get the majority of our guys, and that's usually a film day before the next day. So Thursday morning is an important practice day.
Had a big 2-1 victory over UNC Greensboro last Saturday on senior night, and both goals coming in pretty dramatic fashion in the late stages of the game. You had the Guerra goal that deflected off a UNCG defender, and then the 3-on-1 break in the last goal in overtime. Talk about those 2 goals and that game overall.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty even game. Our games against Greensboro always are good games to be in and coach, and getting those 2 wins last week was very important for our seeding and the confidence of the guys. I mean, if we'd have done the same thing in the first half of the conference season as we did in the second half, we'd have won the whole thing pretty easily. But but the good thing is we're peaking hopefully at the right time. Greensboro's a tough team. They went a goal up, and then we made a couple of changes at halftime, and I thought we dominated the second half. They may have been sitting back for us just to soak up some pressure because they had the lead, but we scored a goal. Rocky got his first goal, and took a deflection, but that's soccer. It happens, and it's been happening against us, and those those have been going off the post and coming back out. And then the last goal, I think they were going for it and were pressing pretty high, so Emery May made a nice turn off of their set piece, beat his man, and then we've been actually working on transition and making sure that we go the different passes and the way to counterattack effectively, and they did that really well. Emery drew his man, slipped the ball to Josiah, and what a finish from him.
Oh, top shelf.
Yeah.
Can't get much better than that.
That was great. I was like, please put this on frame. At least get it on frame and make him make a save, but he didn't just do that. It was unstoppable. It was a great goal, and the celebration was fantastic afterwards too. It's great. It's a great feeling for the guys. They worked very hard for that win.
It had to be, I would imagine, even more satisfying if you take into account the previous game with Greensboro. You lose 2-0 up there. You have to play most of that game a man down, so you get them back on even footing here at home, and you're able to get the win.
Yeah, and we actually played quite well at Greensboro as well. I mean, with the man down, I thought we played well. They scored their second goal late, so it was they're always tough, and they have a bigger field up there, really, really big field, and they were able to spread us out pretty well. They played a pretty good game, and the games are always pretty tough against them. So playing with anyone, it was the same. Wofford, we played with 11 men, and Greensboro, so we finally got 11 men against both those guys and beaten them both. So, guys, here's your clue.
Yeah. You've mentioned that a couple of times, Greensboro and somebody else, about having a quote-unquote bigger field. Are the field sizes not regulated?
There's minimum and maximum width and length. You can play within a certain range, and Greensboro's, I'm sure, is maximum. Ours is almost maximum, but it seems a little closer and tighter, particularly with the atmosphere and that. But theirs is pretty open and very wide, and really nice surface. It's a great soccer field to play on. It's just it is big. It's really big. ETSU's is excellent too. It's very big as well. So whereas Mercer's is a little smaller, narrower, and so it's a very tight game, very physical game at their place.
You play VMI this Saturday at 5 o'clock in the first round of the tournament. Talk about that game and the 2 games you played with them earlier this year.
Yeah, I was telling our guys this morning, I don't care who it is, it's playoff time, and I call them 90-minute seasons. So if you lose, you're done, and people are packing up, and careers are over. So it's either you or them, and soccer is such a weird game. I mean, you could dominate a game and lose. It is one of the only games. Dan, can you tell me another one?
That you can dominate a game
and lose.
Yeah,
come on, that's a good trivia question for you guys. What other sport?
I think baseball you could dominate the game and lose if you had a dominant pitcher on the
mound.
mound.
A dominant pitcher, yeah, but typically a dominant pitcher, you'll win the game. Yeah.
Maybe lose at 1-0 on an unearned run or something like that.
An unearned run? What does that mean?
It means when somebody commits an error that leads to a run, scores.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm definitely gonna look that. I know what a stealing base is because Clint Hill did it in the conference tournament years ago. And
he was good at that.
Yeah, he was quick, wasn't he?
But you're going obviously for another sport that you could dominate and lose.
Yeah, I'm just curious because most sports, if you've got that good a team, you should win that game. In basketball, you'll win that game. Football, it seems like you would win that game. Ours is tough because a referee call or something, or going a man down, which no one else seems to do in another sport. I mean, you can always replace a man. We could be a man down, but you could be missing chances, and they scored. They scored early against Mercer, 30 seconds in, and I think only lost 2-1 or 3-1, whatever it was. But it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, I know we've beaten them twice pretty handily, but it's tough to play a team 3 times. And we have to do that in our conference because of the double round robin. So no matter who we play now, it's the 3rd time we played them. And it gets quite physical as well because people know who to watch and mark and all that stuff. So it's playoff time, so we're hopefully after tomorrow we'll be ready for that game.
I know as a coach you've got to be preaching to your team not to take this team lightly.
Yeah.
You beat them by a combined 9-0 in 2 games. So you're obviously preaching that. Do you sense that the message is getting through?
I hope so. Yesterday was pretty slack, I thought. Our training was, and so we set them straight towards the end, and then today they were very competitive in training. I wish we would have played in the second half of training. I wish that was one of our games because they were very, very competitive, and they know that they're playing for their places and looking for spots. And I said, don't look forward to the Final Four. I said, I want to be playing in our Final Four. I don't want to be hosting it. So we've earned this game against the lowest seed, so we need to take advantage of that too, and definitely 1 week at a time.
This is Doug Allison. He's the men's soccer coach here, regular with us on Thursdays, and the conference tournament, SoCon tournament, getting ready to kick off here in Greenville coming up this weekend. Furman will host VMI at 5 p.m. Saturday here at Stone Stadium. Added pressure or advantage having the tournament here?
I like the first round being here. Typically, when we go away, it's nice. There's no distractions. You're away. When we've won the last 2 tournaments we've been at ETSU and at Mercer. Not at Mercer, ETSU, and then Greensboro. We've won the last 2 tournaments we were at. Just because you can really focus, there are no distractions whatsoever. But it will be nice to host. We haven't hosted in a long time, so I want to be there. I want to host, and I mean for these seniors to play the last few games at home, hopefully before the NCAA's is a big thing. So I'm glad, and we've got a few things going on with Meeting Street Academy, which is a little kids school in Spartanburg, and we're doing some stuff with them for the tournament. But let's get to that hopefully next Thursday. We'll talk about that.
Obviously, winning the regular season is biggest importance, but at the same time, not winning, you get to play an extra game this week, and I think maybe that can have some advantage playing this weekend while ETSU and Greensboro will have 2 weeks off and kind of maybe accumulate a little rust on their hands.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, some people want the bye week. I prefer to play. I'd rather have won the thing, being number one. But if we're not number one, I'd want to be number three, just so we can play the lowest seed and keep going with a bit of momentum and a bit of rhythm. I mean, I think for us that's important. Otherwise we'd have to try some kind of scrimmage or some kind of inter squad scrimmage or something to get game pace and game momentum as well. But I kind of like where we are, and if we were to win, we'd play Greensboro again, which is the third time playing Greensboro, and that was another psychological advantage of winning that game.
Oh yeah.
Knowing that those guys, we can beat them no matter what. I mean, they were playing for a championship, and it was nice to not let them win a championship on our field. That was good. So, but happy for the women's soccer for being the number one seed, and Coach Burr for being Coach of the Year. And football, 6, 7, 8 in a row now? What are they up to? Six in a row. That's fantastic. Really glad for them. So I think they get an off week or a bye week themselves this week, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So is it a bye week?
Bye week. Yeah, correct terminology there.
Like that. So, well, I prefer people. Yeah, I prefer to. Yeah, they said that to the last few opponents, haven't they? But I kind of prefer to be playing this time of year. Any win this time of year is a good win, no matter what it is. I mean, and I think looking at the stats, are 5 of the last 6, or if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lost 1 out of the last 8. And so being scored on 1, 2, 3 times in 8 games. So something's going right at the moment.
It is the Southern Conference usually a one-bid league to the NCAA?
No, last year we had 2.
Okay.
This year I'm not sure. RPI will determine that. Unfortunately, when we play VMI, their RPI is fairly low, so even if we win, we'll drop in the RPI. And to play them 3 times is tough. That's why I'm glad we're going to single games next year. We add Belmont to the conference, but there's no double round robin, so you can kind of determine your RPI. We'll be adding teams like Clemson. I think. Well, I can't tell you the whole schedule because Coach Boer will be unhappy with me. But Ohio State may be in the offing. I'm just letting you know.
Could be.
Could be.
Know.
Yeah, we may have to make a trip there. We'll see. But
more non-conference games.
Yeah. We'll only have 6 conference games, so that gives us an opportunity to play about 13 out of without preseason, 13 or 12 non-conference games. And typically within our region, maybe a tournament like we went to Denver this year, a big tournament with some big names that'll give us a guarantee, which would be nice, and challenge some teams we don't normally play, like Denver and Air Force. And we're still Air Force's only loss, So, but RPI is very important this time of year. Unfortunately, Denver, I think they're 8-6 or 9-6 now, and their RPI's dropped below us.
Wow.
So we were counting on them. They've been the Final Four the last few years, and the top 4 RPI, and we were hoping after we beat them at their place that their RPI would stay really high. No, so that unfortunately dropped us a little bit too.
Well, the good news is that you can take any speculation out of the equation. If you win 3 games, you're going.
Yep, you take care of your business at home, and then you go to the NCAA's, and that's the goal of the whole thing through the whole year is play for a bid. Whether it's through conference tournament or not, but typically with our conference at the moment, we'll have 1 or 2, but definitely the 1, and we can determine that fate.
Over the past few years, when you've gone to the NCAA tournament, you've had some success in that and played very competitive games. Talk about those experiences and what they can provide for these teams, because some of those players were, I believe, freshmen and sophomores on the last team in 2015.
That's right. We've when I first came here all those years ago, that was the one thing I wanted to do, is make sure that the guys participate in the NCAA's, because it's the best time. This time of year is great. I love this time of year because, like I say, you can knock people off, or you can win, you can advance yourself, or it's tight. It's a little bit tight. People are getting a little bit tighter, but if you can win your conference tournament and go, which we did the first couple of years for these freshmen and sophomores, you get the NCAA's and you go to places that you don't normally play, or see teams like we went to UAB and beat them, and then went out to Seattle and played Washington and went 9 rounds of penalty kicks with them.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then the next year we played shootout with South Carolina as well. So we'll be taking a lot of penalty kicks this week. I think you need that.
Before we wrap it up, you referenced a moment ago that careers are going to end this weekend for somebody, and maybe, well, really for everybody except the team perhaps that wins the whole thing and goes on. They'll be guaranteed at least another game. Do you have at this time of year? Do you have a private moment with your seniors and just remind them of what's at stake, or do they need reminding?
They know. They know because you can see it in their play. It's a bit more determined. It's a bit more. It goes so fast, Dan. I mean, their careers go so fast. You tell them as freshmen, these 4 years. It sounds 4 years. Well, it's typically 3.5 before the end of the fall, and all of a sudden, become sophomores. Now the juniors are like, Coach, you just recruited me. Now these seniors, and they're getting. Most of our guys graduate at Christmas. To hopefully either play further professionally if they can, or have an advantage to go on with their Furman degree. And I mean, I've only got a few more weeks with some of these guys. And then I told them this morning, said, at some point you'll be doing carpool. You'll be trying to go across Greenville to get somewhere. Not just going out from your dorm room to the field. It's reality's going to hit you pretty soon. So, and then they're looking in their eyes like, oh, wait a minute, regular season's done. It's playoff time. It's almost Thanksgiving. Which means we're almost done.
Right.
And their Furman careers are almost done. And it's sad because it happens every year to me.
Yeah. Well, and Andrews was with us yesterday and talking about his women's team and talking about the freshmen. Effectively now a quarter of their careers, 25% of their careers are gone.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yep. And it happens so fast. And it's weird because I seem to think that my career at South Carolina just seemed to go forever. And I remember everything.
So did your coach, probably.
Yeah. He wasn't too happy with me sometimes. He was when I scored a couple of goals, Dan. Leave me alone.
Leading scorer here in South Carolina history.
I'm just saying.
I admit I wasn't easiest to coach and probably the worst. Now I'm coaching, I would not want to have a player like me at the training field because I wasn't training that much, and Charlie Arndt can attest to that. But I came to play, Dan. That's for sure.
I never doubted that.
My injuries went away before Saturday. That's for sure.
It's another story for another time.
Yeah.
All right, so 5 o'clock, VMI, quarterfinals, Stone Stadium. We need a whole bunch of people here making a whole lot of noise, and we need it all weekend long.
Yep. We need it here, and because the football aren't playing. So the bye week, they can just wander over and kind of watch us play a little bit. That'd be nice. So, but it hopefully get a lot of students out there. We had a ton of students out there for the Clint Dempsey shirt. Some of the students came out, got the shirt, and went back to their rooms to study and that. But you come back with your shirt on and watch the games. That would be nice.
See, how you remedy that, right? You give a ticket to the first 100 in, and then give them the shirt on the way out after the game.
I think they should be there to receive their shirt. I think they should be watching while they receive.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
you keep them there. You don't give them the shirt until they come out of the game.
I agree. I agree. But our players were throwing some out to some of the fans, and that was good. So beautiful, great shirts. Really quality shirts. Alex and Ben did a great job with that.
Good stuff. Good luck, man.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Let's win this and keep these interviews. We got to keep these interviews going.
Yeah, I want to see you next Thursday.
Yeah, well, I mean, you will regardless, but let's hope that we're talking about heading into the NCAAs.
Or the conference, the Final Four.
Yeah, we have one game this weekend. Semis and finals are next week.
Next weekend, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I guess if I read the schedule, I'd know that.
No comment, Dan.
Thank you very much.
I'll let that one speak for itself.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Hey, listen, I don't need any help looking bad. I can do it on my own. That is Doug Allison joining us here on the program.